though I realize for many people looking at my fat head for 5-10 minutes is probably not your ideal way to spend time, but you know, I figure for this holiday it works. It's Halloween, people, and Halloween is a fun holiday. One of my favorite aspects of Halloween is scary movies. It's the one time that people will legitimately sit down and be okay with watching scary movies, it seems, in a year. The rest of the year, friends don't have an interest in it. And I wanted to do something special for this Halloween. The In 1 Year blog Halloween
Thrill Me
edition. Now, the reason for the Thrill Me is partially because one of the movies I'm going to focus on is Night of the Creeps, starring Tom Atkins. I'm also going to talk about El Superbeasto, or rather, The Haunted World of El Superbeasto, an animated film by Rob Zombie. I will apologize in advance. I do not have the technical capabilities to rip images from my Blu-ray, or from any Blu-ray for that matter. I don't have the ability to grab clips so that they're as pristine and clear looking as they could be. I had to do this kind of in a roundabout old-fashioned way using my camera, which is technically a high-def camera, but it's recording a high-def image off of a high-definition television, which kind of creates a somewhat, at times, it's going to look, but the colors will be a bit washed out. I apologize for that. It won't look as vibrant. Do not judge the quality of the picture and go, oh, that looks terrible based on this. It's gonna look terrible compared to the Blu-ray. They do look good. First, I want to talk about El Superbeasto, the haunted world of El Superbeasto. It, as I said, is a Rob Zombie animated film. What really hit me is it seems to want to really kind of give risque humor.
I bet MacGyver never had anything like this next to his tatas.
The humor, Family Guy and South Park can often go way over, just fly right over the edge. Now, I'm not going to deny that. That humor can work. And we know this because both Family Guy and South Park, and to a lesser extent in the years past, The Simpsons, often pushed the boundaries of what we might consider an acceptable thing to joke about, and yet found that nugget of humor, because ultimately, like it or not, there's a lot of intelligence to especially South Park and The Simpsons. Both were very intelligent ideas that they were getting at, so while they might be going over the top, while they might make you uncomfortable, it makes sense. Rob Zombie's movie here, The Haunted World of El Superbeasto, doesn't really go beyond we can draw naked cartoon boobs and bounce. They can bounce. And that's, there are literally minutes of jokes that really are nothing more than repeated shots of bouncing cartoon breasts. The thing that stands out about The Haunted World of El Beasto, as far as the humor goes, is it never reaches higher. It never tries to grab the audience and make you go, come on, I dare you to laugh. Because you can't really see, it really is 14-year-old boy humor. Yet it's an R-rated cartoon. It's probably obvious I'm not really impressed with the humor of the film, but I do want to note a couple things that I did like.
All right, let's get this over with.
The humor didn't work for me. The story wasn't that impressive. A lot of that is disappointing to me because you have voice talent like Tom Kenny, which most of you will know as SpongeBob SquarePants, Paul Giamatti, Rosario Dawson, Danny Trejo, Tom Pappas from The Informant, Brian Posehn. I love Brian Posehn. Plus there's Rob's whole crew of regular performers. Bill Moseley, Sid Haig, his wife Sherry Moon Zombie, Ken Foree. It seems like it should work on that level. Plus, you have really great character design. It works so nicely. Everything makes plausible sense within this world. Nothing feels out of place. There's a lot of like little horror movie jokes going on in the background, and even in front and center. You have jokes relating to The Fly, Dr. Phoebes, or Dr. Phibes. What is it? You have The Shining. There's lots of jokes in there that just touch on. It's clearly that Rob Zombie and the writers were not concerned with the relevancy of the jokes to modern audiences. They really just wrote them because they love those things. And I can understand that. I just didn't consider it really worth watching unless you have a cartoon boob obsession. Judging by some of the people who do find my blog, their searches, they will appreciate this film wholeheartedly.
Thank you!
I was at moviefone.com. They did their 31 top horror movies, and I'm going to agree with them, especially on number 1. Halloween is a great horror movie. I actually remember when H2O came out, and I knew people who saw that first, loved it, and had never seen Halloween. They had never seen the original Halloween, so I was like, oh, you got to see it. They'd come back to me and they're like, wow, that was like really boring because it's like really slow. Halloween takes its time. Because see, horror movies used to do that. They used to let you get to like the characters. See, it was a little something like letting you get to like the characters. Except that at 15 they put the Blair Witch Project. I wouldn't even include it on a list. And I know I'm apparently the only person in the world who didn't find it scary. And it has all the problems that I ever have with modern horror films. I don't like any of the cast members. They're annoying. They're so obnoxious. And plus, if I never hear as the default I'm scared reaction, I will be so happy. It happens in Wreck. It happens in the Wreck remake of called Quarantine. It happened in the Blair Witch. It's always some character who is just utterly loud. Like they're utterly loud at a time where quiet is of the paramount. You gotta be quiet. And then it gets interesting at the last 2 minutes, and the movie's over. So that's my rant. I will accept that it made the list. I won't say they have to take it off because other people think it's scary and other people really like it, and they're people I respect. So I will agree to disagree on that. I would put The Descent higher than 28. The Thing at 7, I can live with that. The Thing is still, in my opinion, one of the great paranoia thrillers. There needs to be more like that. The top 5, Texas Chainsaw Massacre at number 5. Yeah, I can live with that. The Shining at 4. Although I do not like The Shining as a Stephen King adaptation, I think it's a great movie on its own. As just a scary movie called The Shining, I like it. 3, Psycho. And Psycho, yes. Yes, Psycho is a great movie. And the thing that cracks me up is the first time I ever saw it was at church, because technically it's a safe movie. Number 2, The Exorcist. I think The Exorcist is one of the all-time great films. It's just freaky and it works. And as I said, number 1, Halloween. I will never argue with that.